Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Martha Simmons with another session of Preaching and Preachers on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is wonderful to be back with you for what I know will be a very informative broadcast. It's cold here in Atlanta, but I don't have snow. So I am not complaining. The sun is out and bright, and we will take that. Come on in and let me know that you are out there. Good morning to my people on the West Coast who get up early to check out the broadcast. Shouting out the folk in the Midwest, and certainly the folk on the East Coast and those in the dirty South. Wendell Craig Woods. All right. Good to have you with me. When you come in, type in the name of another person. What I know about today's broadcast, because so many people will want this information, is that a lot of people are going to play this back, and that's fine. That is fine. I used to get upset when there were not folk all over the place when I broadcast until the analytics told me, no, everybody's playing it back. So I am good with that. I am good with that. All right, Reverend Emily Carroll, good to have you with me. When you come in, type in the name of another person. We are just about at the end of the year, and I have actually just entered my 9th year of doing this. And I can't imagine that it has been 9 years, but it has. And I am excited and grateful for that. Gonna give people about another 30 seconds to come online and folk to also jump on YouTube. But if you are watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe to my page. I would appreciate that when you come in. All right, all right, all right. Type in the name of another person who you know will benefit from this broadcast. They can jump on right now, or it'll be up on my page for a couple of weeks, and on YouTube, as they say, forever. They keep things up on YouTube a long time. All right, all right, all right. I appreciate you all joining me. I'm going to go ahead and start because I've got so much that I want to talk to my amazing guest about, and he's going to be our teacher for today. That's right. He's a teacher in this particular area. As always, I am praying for those who are sick, praying for those who are experiencing a season of bereavement, to the AME community in their loss of Bishop Jackson. We're praying for that faith community. And we're praying for all countries today that are dealing with war, countries engaged in war. It's astoundingly sad. We are praying. We sometimes forget that there's a whole big old world out there. And we're praying. We're especially praying for those who are providing food, housing, and help for people who are engaged or embroiled, in those wars. All right, all right, all right. I am going to just get right to it. Today's topic is sowing resilience. I'm going to talk about food security, and in times like these, we really need information on this particular topic. These are difficult times economically for so many people, just so many people, and for everyone except that top 10%. Food security is a real thing. People are choosing between medicine and food. Okay. Housing themselves and eating. It's a real thing. And I have the perfect guest to talk about how we can be resilient during these times and to talk about food security. The Reverend Dr. Heber Brown III is my guest for today. He earned his Bachelor's of Science degree in psychology from Morgan State University, a Master's of Divinity degree from Virginia Union University, and a Doctor of Ministry degree from Wesley Theological Seminary in DC. Dr. Brown has been a catalyst for social change for more than 20 years. For nearly 14 years, he served as a pastor in Baltimore, and that's where I met him. I heard about him, and then I got a chance to meet him, and I knew from our very first meeting that he was destined for major work, but he eclipsed everything I thought about. He's really doing major work, and in Baltimore he got to see and experience the impacts of food apartheid, and this helped inspire him to launch the Black Church Food Security Network. And if you don't know about that and you are a pastor, you need to go online and check out the Black Church Food Security Network. It advances food security and food sovereignty by co-creating Black food ecosystems anchored by nearly 300 Black congregations in partnership with Black farmers and other food justice stakeholders. You really need to know. All clergy need people. You need a Rolodex. We used to call it a Rolodex. Okay, now they call it your contacts. This particular organization needs to be in your contacts. He serves on numerous boards, including Bread for the World, the Black Farmer Fund, and Future Harvest. And he's gained awards all over the place. And we're talking about his book that we hope he'll finish next year, titled Nothing More: Sacred Radical Stories of Black Church Faith, Food, and Freedom. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Doc. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so glad to be with you.
It is just, it's my honor that you would take the time out of your busy schedule, because on top of course, doing the Church Food Security Network, he's also works with his dad, who is a pastor. What city is your dad in?
We're here in Baltimore, Maryland.
Well, he's in Baltimore too. And so I don't know where he finds time to sleep, but he's working with his dad. Let's get right to it. Because this, like I said, this is such a significant topic. And what, a month or so ago, when the government went through this craziness concerning SNAP and WIC and so many other things, churches stepped up. Yeah. And I really want to shout out all of the churches that said, no matter what we can do, we're going to do something to feed people. But Dr. Brown is going to tell us how we can take that further. So tell me, how'd you go from being a pastor in Baltimore to doing what you do now? Tell us a bit about that journey.
Sure. Well, I was blessed to pastor a wonderful Baptist congregation here in Baltimore. And I got the privilege really to see up close what day-to-day ministry is like, congregational leadership is like. Mm-hmm. As a preacher's kid, I will confess that I thought that I knew before I got into that chair myself. But it was a great education for me about the realities of pastoring and congregational leadership. And one of the things that I realized I was given more, or at least an equal measure of time to, compared to like preaching on Sunday, mm-hmm. It was going to visit members of my church during the week, sure, who were hospitalized or those who were homebound. And I just took stock of just how much energy, how much time, how much resources of our church was focused on providing care in these kinds of ways. And I also was blessed to listen to the sacred conversations that was happening at hospital bedsides,
Mm-hmm.
as our members were sharing about their condition and they were going through. What I realized as I listened time and time again was that food was in the equation of
Yes.
what had them in the hospital in the first place.
My God.
And, Doc, I did the things that seminary, teaches us to do in those types of settings,
Sure.
scripture, prayer, word of encouragement, don't stay too long, all those kinds of
Sure.
things. But
Sure.
after a while, the community organizer in me was like, look, wait a minute, I'm not going to keep on hearing
Mm-hmm.
about food being a part of the problem
Mm-hmm.
and not try to swim upstream to address it at its root,
Right.
to help those who I shared life with at the church. And so after kind of sitting with it and praying about it, the long story short, while I thought we would connect with the local grocery store to get nutrient-rich food to our people to help
Mm-hmm.
disrupt the sick and shut-in list, as we used to call it back in the,
Yes. Yes.
I thought it was going to be through partnership with a local grocery store, but the prices of the produce was too high. The vibe of
Mm-hmm.
the market was not really one that was amenable to us in our community. And so God gave a greater vision than what I initially thought.
Hmm.
And God's vision was start growing food on the land that you have.
Yes.
So our church had a little bit of land here in Baltimore, not acres upon acres, but 1,500 square feet of land. God showed vision for us to start growing food. I shared that with the congregation. And I have to say, Doc, that when I shared the idea of us starting a garden in our church, there was not unanimous support for that idea.
Hmm.
In fact, there was, some folks said, "Oh Lord, here he goes again with another vision from the Lord." I was 29, 30 years old. I'm trying to solve all the problems of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understood the skepticism. So we
Mm-hmm.
did not have unanimous support, but we did have a remnant. And that small remnant came alongside that vision. And we were able to transform that 1,500 square feet of land in our front yard
Yep.
into a vegetable garden. And we started growing 1,200 pounds of produce a season, and getting food through our church kitchen to our members, but also to our neighbors and the wider community as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I saw that garden.
Yes,
I saw
yes.
that garden, and it was amazing. It was amazing what you all did with such a small piece of land. It
Yeah.
it it, it was amazing, and you were excited about that garden even then.
Yeah.
So, given that and everything that you know now,
Hmm.
through your work, through your experience, talk a bit about what is now called food apartheid. What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we started growing food, I was so excited about the fact that we were able every single week and throughout the week to get food in people's hands. But it really became another classroom for me, Doc, because I got closer to the reality of what food distribution, what food production, just the
Okay.
different logistics and layers of food. And what I realized was that a part of the food insecurity in my community was not just because people did not have money to go buy
Mhm.
food. It
Mhm.
wasn't it wasn't just because, oh, that grocery store is a little further away. We had to do a little bit of digging. And what I learned was our church was located on the historic red line of Baltimore City. And many
Okay.
people watching this will know about redlining in this country.
Yes.
Redlining, actually, Baltimore has the dubious honor of being the home of redlining in the United
Whoa.
States of America.
Whoa.
And so when real estate folks and developers and government got together to figure out how do we keep the undesirables in their eyes away from resources, abundance, and assets, and keep it in places where we want it to be, it was here where they really tested out the redlining practice, and then it spread around the country from there. Essentially, what it did in the 1930s was to take a city and a community, cut it up,
Right.
determine where the food would be, where
Mhm.
quality schools would be,
Right.
where the jobs would be, put all of that in green areas on the map,
Right.
And then the places where food would not be,
Yeah.
places where you would struggle to find a job, places oftentimes closer to industrial sites and
Right.
toxic waste
That's
and
right.
pollution and cemeteries. Those are the red line communities, which are oftentimes reserved for Black people and other historically marginalized communities. And so once I really did some digging and learned more about why we were hungry in the first place,
That's right.
it really pushed me toward understanding that food deserts, as I used to call these areas,
Mm-hmm.
was really a mischaracterization of the reality of what was happening in our
All right now.
community. It wasn't food desert.
Mm-hmm.
For one, a desert is a naturally occurring part of God's created order.
My
Deserts
God.
play a function in the role in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole lot of life in the desert for those who have eyes to see it.
Mm.
So desert doesn't apply, but also food desert does not point to the intentionality of how we get to these communal dynamics in the first place.
All right, all right. So you all, I want people
Yeah,
to stop saying you in a food desert. You're
that's
not
right.
in a, you are
Right.
not in a food desert. Okay,
No, 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 we not.
that's one of those highfalutin kinds of
It
words
really is.
that folk came up with
That's right. That's
about
right.
10 years ago. No,
That's
it's
right.
worse than that.
It's
Go ahead,
worse
sir.
than, yeah, it's worse than that. And in fact, the food desert terminology, you just touched on it. It became a buzzword for
Yep,
grants and funding.
yep,
It's a way to get money. You want to get
yep,
money? Throw
mhm,
in food desert in your
yep,
application. Similar to like at-risk youth. At one time,
right.
that was a buzzword and a cash cow to
Mhm.
get money. And so what we really work to do in our organization and so many others, I want to shout out Karen Washington, a dynamic Black woman farmer who really helped to popularize the term food apartheid,
Mhm.
because that is what we're really talking about. We're talking about an intentional and design plan to keep food and other basic necessities away from certain communities. And in our case, the Black community is one of those certain communities.
Mhm.
So we got to look at the fact that it was intentional, it is
Yep.
designed, it is policy, it is zoning, it is a part of what was put in place for our communities. It's a part of their plan. And because that's a plan that's been lobbed on our community, we
Mhm.
have to develop a plan to overcome and get out of these dynamics at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely intentional. And I don't think we still get that
Mm-mm.
it is intentional.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Food apartheid, just like apartheid in South Africa,
that's right.
it's intentional.
That's
It
right.
is intentional. It's not just something that happened because you were poor or because you were Black or
That's right.
because you were Hispanic. No, it was intentional and it remains intentional. The
Yes.
zoning laws are still
Yes.
harming
Yes.
people, Black people, brown people. They're still harming the most vulnerable. That's why the data centers, they
Mm-hmm.
could go in so many places. They're still
Right.
going in Black and brown communities. And finally, a few poor white folk, they hit
Mm-hmm.
their communities.
Yeah.
So they are waking up. So food apartheid is on purpose.
Right.
It's really tied so often to zoning laws.
Yes.
But before you get to the zoning laws, the
That's
policies,
right.
the
That's right.
policies were there. This is Dr. Martha Simmons. Thank you all for joining me and my special guest for this session of Preaching and Preachers on Facebook and on YouTube. If you've got questions for my guest, go ahead and put them in the chat. I appreciate your being here. If you are on, type in the name of another person who you know will be helped by this broadcast. Go ahead and do that. They can jump on now or they can watch it online, especially on YouTube. Dr. Brown, how do you see, given what we've gone through in the last month and a half or so, how do you see the changes? Because this is not getting better over the next 3 years. The changes that are occurring to things like SNAP and Medicare, how is that going to impact the food that people are able to get? And what should pastors and lay people really know about all of what is happening and what is planned?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Doc. One of the things that the changes that have been enacted on the federal level and how it trickles down to the states is that when as it pertains to SNAP, there are now work requirements, even more work
Mhm.
requirements that are being placed upon customers, clients, and those who are in need of these SNAP benefits,
Mhm.
that they are not as easily able to get the benefits that they need because of now even more work requirements. There's another impact as well as it relates to those who are refugees and those who are looking for political asylum in this country.
Mhm.
If they are waiting for their green card, if you do not have that, it's going to be harder for them to get any kinds of benefits as well at this particular time. And then also, we got to think about the ways that farmers are impacted by these changes. More and more farmers, for an array of issues, are
Yeah.
being impacted by federal policy as well as it pertains to food security. For those who are interested and pastors who are listening and like, what can I do? As when Doc, you introduced me and you lifted up one of the organizations that I'm blessed to be on the board of. It's called Bread for the World.
Mhm.
They are one of the leading Christian organizations in DC and around the country, really advancing federal policy around hunger. And they
Right.
have a really powerful legislative advocacy arm that I would invite any and all churches to connect with. Bread for the World. Bread.org is their website. And we're doing a lot of work around helping to engage and mobilize congregations to address policy at the federal level.
Yes.
And so that'd be a great avenue there. But I also would say that to pastors and church leaders, one of the things I'm making a pivot, Doc, and this winter I'm going to really spend it not only writing and working on my book, but also pivoting with respect to parts of our organization with the Black Church Food Security Network. And one of them is I need to do, and we need to do more to help impress upon pastors and churches that food cannot be an extracurricular activity of your ministry.
All right now.
Can't be. It
Can be.
can't be just something that's, we've been doing it this way for so long. We're going to keep on doing it this way. We're going to keep on giving out boxes of food and produce. And I want to applaud and appreciate churches for all that you've done up to this point with respect
Right.
to food related ministry. But I also want to offer up that we are seeing things happen that we've never seen before.
Never seen before.
And so our ministries have to evolve and adapt in real time to the challenges that we're facing. And so, for instance, a lot of churches, Doc, have food distribution ministries, and I advocate to keep them going.
Right.
But I also want to lift up a couple things to consider. One, where is your church getting the produce from? Where are you getting
Hmm.
it from?
Yeah.
I want to urge pastors to be intentional about their church getting produce from local farmers, especially Black farmers.
Okay.
Taking the time to make those connections and build relationships with farmers, because it really could prove beneficial not just for the church, but also for that farmer to
Right.
be in relationship and not just transactional dynamics.
Right.
We also got to do more to get churches to create spaces where you can cultivate the spiritual and theological language around food-based ministries in our church.
Okay. Okay.
We need to go deeper there. We're doing a lot of great work just from a charitable standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
but we just discussed federal policy and other social dynamics that charity will not overcome all by itself, nor will
Will not.
shallow or
Will not.
simplistic theological thinking. So
Right.
I really would urge pastors to think about having components of your Christian education ministry, perhaps, to
Mm-hmm.
have like book clubs, do study. Just like you
Right.
have Bible study the realities of food. I can offer up books like Freedom Farmers by Dr. Monica White, Farming While Black by Leah Pennyman, documentaries like the Vernon John
You really
story.
gonna love. You all gonna love farming while Black. Go ahead.
Yes, it's great text. And then you could do film series at your church. I mentioned the Vernon John story. He is a profile of a
Right.
pastor who
He
saw
is.
connection between pulpit leadership, congregational leadership, but also the agricultural benefits and learning
That's
how
right.
to produce for yourself to strengthen our community. That's a great documentary. Dirt and Deeds in Mississippi is another classic documentary. But so basically, what I'm saying is, I need every pastor and church leader watching to put on your farmer hat and
Yeah.
help to cultivate the spiritual soil of your church
Mm-hmm.
for a type of food ministry that goes and builds on the charity, but goes beyond charity to the justice side of the equation as well.
Yeah. And you do not have to be, and I really wish churches would get this, you don't have to be a mega church.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to be a 500 member church.
Mm-hmm.
When I met Dr. Brown, he was not at a mega church.
Not at all.
He was not, not at all. Okay.
Nowhere close. Doc,
You know,
when you came to preach for me, you doubled our attendance when you showed up. I said, thank God.
funny. He's funny. He is funny. But what he had and what he continues to do is to show what can happen when we think big,
Yeah.
when we think beyond the size of our church. It's not the size of your church, it's the size of your ideas. And they're wonderful people. You don't have to create. You don't have to create all of this. Okay.
Right.
You don't have to, reinvent this wheel. There are people doing this work who would love to partner with you and your church.
Yeah.
They would love it. So get involved, because the next few years, especially the next 3, are going to be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Our people are going to it's going to be bad, especially for seniors and for children and the disabled. It is going to be bad. The policies, and you all can read Project 2025 and beyond and see the intentionality around what's happening with programs like SNAP, Medicare, WIC, those kinds of programs. The cruelty is the point. The cruelty is the point, and we just, like I said, like you said, Doc, I appreciate all of the food pantries.
That's right.
I appreciate all of the churches that help people every week, but there are better ways to do it. You can expand what you do.
That's
if
right.
You hook up with the right people, if you start to teach about it and preach about it. And this is something that young people really love to do.
Yeah.
They love this kind of work, so you can get them involved. Someone asked, how can social justice movements help in spreading awareness about resources? So
yeah. I think about ways, especially in this time, I'm more and more thinking about analog organizing, Doc, and just ways that we can dust off our trusted, tried, and true methods for communicating things through our own community.
Yes.
Recently the Montgomery bus boycott anniversary was recognized. And one of the things that I celebrate with that phenomenal part of our story is the ways that they communicated throughout the community what was going on.
They
utilized the church, they utilized the copy machine, they went door to door, they spread the word through established networks. And I would just say that that's something that I think we should be thinking about, especially given the high level of surveillance and the high levels and ways in which those who are trying to address community issues are being scrutinized and ostracized. Yeah. We might have to dust off what we know. I'm not saying that should be the end all be all, but if we're trying to spread information, let's not always put everything online for everybody to see. Let's not always put it on our social media pages. Some things I think we can look at, getting back to, and this might sound wild to some folks, Doc, but that paper bulletin, I treated it like the New York Times when I was pastoring. I wanted to make sure that we had not just when Bible study was happening or choir rehearsal was happening, but I used our bulletin to share pertinent information about what's going on in the world. And I think those kinds of things is something to consider, given that we are living in the age of
We
ultra.
don't usually have those kinds of. Now, I saw your bulletin, Doc. That's not the kind of bulletins. No, we don't have those kind of bulletins. So I'm not even gonna push that because I've seen the other bulletins. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I know what we do
Yeah.
with bulletins, but seriously though, we do have to engage in every way that we can get the word out.
Yeah.
Let's get the word out.
Yeah.
You know, let's just get the word out. That's what we've got to do a better job at doing, and not worry about if it is, you know, if we're receiving this many likes, this many, etc. No, are people getting involved and doing the work of resilience to really help make our congregations more resilient? So speaking of that, tell me, you've mentioned some of it, but tell me, give me some details about the Black farmers that you work with and some other entities that you do this amazing work with.
Yeah, Doc, I was really blessed. You mentioned my schooling and the degrees I've got by way of schooling, but there was another whole educational pathway that I took when I went to farm school, and also went and sat at the feet of Black farmers, mostly along the East Coast, but in different ways around the country. I recognized that if I was going to be a useful bridge between Black churches and Black farmers, it really had to become incarnational for me, not just, you know, reading a passing online note, but really putting on my own farm boots. I literally went to school. I learned how to utilize tractors. I've learned about soil science. I've learned about climate in a deep agricultural and scientific way. And these communities of farmers have really blessed me, particularly Black farmers in North Carolina and Black farmers in Virginia and Florida even, and so many other places, allowing me to walk their fields and learn about the realities of farming, about how Black farmers can be land rich and cash poor.
Yes.
And he talked to me about even, and this is a great forum to share this, many farmers have skepticism with respect to churches and pastors because they are used to pastors making big promises and not delivering on the back.
Whoa.
I've heard horror stories, Doc, from farmers who had a handshake agreement with church leaders to grow fields of produce for a congregation, only for harvest time to come and the church change their mind when the produce is already grown.
My God.
And so when I first started working with Black farmers, I had to really slow down and earn the trust over time by saying something and then backing up what I said to deliver for what they asked for. So I just need pastors and churches to know, do not assume that you are trusted when you work with Black farming groups.
My goodness.
Don't assume your word is bond. These Black farmers are in
and they're
business.
suffering. Black farmers, when we talk about another kind of apartheid, and again, it's been intentional.
That's right.
It's been intentional. So when we hear, oh, the federal government is going to give a bailout, guess who's at the bottom of that totem pole in terms of getting money? And it's intentional. Say something about that.
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about 100 years of documented discrimination against Black farmers, where their lands have been taken, where they have been denied loans, where they are the last in line for seeds and fertilizer and other things they need to grow. And so we're talking about a century worth of that kind of discrimination. And so, yes, please, y'all, don't look at Black farmers and then the first thing you see that might be out of order or something that fell off in your planning, please don't assume that farmer just don't have it together. They're not doing right. They don't know how to grow. I
No,
need you to understand that they are the David in the David and Goliath story in the world
that's
of
right.
agriculture. And they're doing the best that they can to help to grow their operation and move it forward. But they need our partnership. So
Yes.
please don't bring your Amazon mentality to a black farming cooperative or to a black farmer. Come into it with, how do we partner together?
Yeah.
How can we as a church fill in some of the gaps that might be on this small black farming family? They might need help with transportation. They definitely need help with labor. It would be a blessing if you could look at your church budget and highlight every line item in your church budget that's related to food, and see how you can shift those resources to black farmers and then work with them to produce what it is that you need for your congregation. Partnership, not transactions.
Yes, yes. Instead of, it's always, we're going to get it from a food bank, okay?
Right,
As
right.
if it didn't come from a farm to get to the food bank,
Thank you.
okay? I mean, we do some interesting thinking, but we have been brainwashed.
That's right. That's right.
We have been brainwashed,
That's right.
okay? We don't even talk about black farms.
That's right. That's right.
We have been brainwashed.
Yeah.
And in this season, we've been reminded, and we can do better.
Mhm.
We can do better.
Mhm.
Someone typed in the comments, partnerships,
Partnership.
collaborations, and no, churches, you are not the sages in this work.
No.
You need to sit at the feet
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
so many
Mhm.
of these amazing farmers and
Yeah.
learn something.
That's right.
And
That's right.
learn something about soil, learn something about what it means to live in these ecological times,
Yes.
and
Yes.
what that's done to land.
Yes.
Learn something about supply chains.
That's right. That's right.
Okay? Because we think we understand supply chain and we're confused.
My Lord.
We are confused. Okay. I
Exactly.
spent a lot of time on farms. I'm really from Mississippi. We're confused.
That's right.
We are really, really confused, but we don't have to be
Mhm.
if we're willing to sit and listen and learn and do some reading. And I'm telling you all, these next 3 years,
Yes.
and perhaps beyond, okay, given climate change,
Yes.
are going to just be very difficult, and we can save some farms.
Mhm.
We can
Mhm.
save some,
Mhm.
and we can partner with a lot more. Dr. Brown,
Yes.
so, I know you work with the farmers. So now tell me about your working with churches, because you've done a lot of work with great churches. Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Absolutely. So yeah, the farm side, absolutely. The National Black Food and Justice Alliance is a group that I would commend to everybody.
Say that again.
The National Black Food and Justice Alliance. Yep.
Somebody type that in the chat.
Please, National Black Food and Justice Alliance. Look them up, y'all. They got black farmers all over the country, and they have a GIS map on the website as well, where you can put your address in and see where the farmers are in your community. There's another online resource called the Black Farmers Index. Check them out as well, the blackfarmersindex.com. They have a national directory of black farms. Green the Church, they touch agriculture, but also they also address energy and solar and so many other related issues. They are a sister organization of ours that we're proud to be in community with. But on the church side, the Black Church Food Security Network, what we do is we help churches to grow food on the land that they own. We really do focus on land owned by the church. Y'all, gentrification is real, eminent domain is real. Yeah. And if you start growing food on land that you do not own, then you leave yourself open to the possibility that the owners of the land, and let's say it's a local municipality or a developer, at any time they get good and ready, they can rip that operation away from you. And we've seen that time and time again. So we work with churches to grow food on land that they own.
Right.
Oftentimes that land is just sitting there
Yep.
and it's already on the budget. You're spending money for its maintenance. You're
Yes.
spending money for somebody to cut the grass.
Yes.
And what we do is help churches to see if you redirect the money you're already spending for the upkeep of grass, you can
Yes.
transform that lawn into a living epistle to transform your church and your community by growing the food that you need.
Yeah. And I've been amazed by just the number of groups that will give you seeds
Oh,
for free.
absolutely.
They will give you seeds for free. There are groups that will help you. You know, you say, well, we want to grow some collard greens. There are actually groups that will teach you
That's right.
how to do that for free. Go ahead, Dr. Brown.
Yeah. So, and when you do that, I'm so glad you raised that, Doc. Groups like the cooperative, your local cooperative extension office. And this is a federally funded program where people can be sent out into the community to assist with agricultural and other kinds of projects. You can get free resources. You want to also connect with your local land grant universities, your Black schools that have this agricultural history and foundation. Oftentimes there's resources there too. So we help churches to grow food on their land. We help churches to have Black farmers markets. And we love doing them on Sundays right after church. Because y'all know what we do after service, y'all. We gotta eat something from somewhere.
Right.
So we bring the farmers and food businesses to the church so that after Sunday, they can shake the hands of farmers, get local fresh food, and support local growers in the spirit of economic justice. And so start gardens, host Black farmers markets. We do Black farm tours because, you know, many people, especially those up north, have not been on the farm in a long time.
If ever.
If ever, right. And sometimes you got these urban growers and farms that are right under their nose, right around the corner, they don't even know it. So we love putting them together. We're doing these Black farm tours and help people to see and connect with the local farmers in their community. And then we have what we call the ARC program, like Noah's Ark, because Doc, you've been preaching the sermon that's been heavy on my heart with respect to these next 3 years in particular, that we cannot wait until it's fully storming down on us, torrential rain, to go try to find an umbrella. Wait, no. We seen a little bit of what this government, and you said it about Project 2025. I just read something that said the Heritage Foundation with the architects behind Project 2025, they're already rolling out Project 2026.
Yes.
It's being rolled out now. And so in that spirit, with that in mind, rather, our ARC program is really our effort to further these communal self-determination initiatives where we can connect with supply chain resources, truck drivers, warehouses, and bulk buying and wholesale buying as well. So one of the things we really love doing in that particular program is we partnered with Ebenezer Baptist Church a couple of years ago with Pastor Raphael Warnock, and we helped their church to launch a CSA program, community supported agriculture, which basically is the produce boxes. We partnered them with rural Black farmers in Georgia, and we came together to create about a 10-week program where those farmers pulled up to the church every Sunday with produce boxes from their farm. Now, here's the big thing about it, Doc. We got about 100 members of Ebenezer to pay in advance for the 10-week program. They paid in the springtime.
Okay.
And then when the harvest came, when the produce was ready, that's when the farmers came. Now, I really love that because no grant funded it. No government chipped in on it. It was us rolling up our sleeves, putting our money down, and having Black farmers grow what we needed. And you also should know that if anybody came to that CSA program at Ebenezer and they did not have the money, there always was going to be food available. I know that sometimes churches can be nervous about putting a dollar amount on the food because people will be turned away. Well, we're always going to be the church. Nobody leaves hungry. But what we say is, if you got it and you're going to spend it anyway at the big box store down the street,
Right.
why not spend it at your church to help build up this infrastructure in the spirit of communal self-reliance?
Yeah. If you're gonna go and get fruit and vegetables anyway,
That's right.
wouldn't you rather farmers bring them to you
That's right.
than, yeah, we ain't gonna even talk about what happens with a lot of produce inside stores. We don't even go there. Okay.
Right.
We're not going to go there. But tell people, if someone says, Dr. Brown, I want to get in on what you are doing. I want to do it right now because I got to do something. I can't get to the end of year 3 and say, oh my God, this is a bad. Tell them how to find you.
Yes, indeed. Please go to blackchurchpower.com, blackchurchpower.com. That's our website where you can get more about our information.
Somebody please type that in, type that in the chat.
Yes, indeed. blackchurchpower.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Just search the Black Church Food Security Network. You can follow me personally, Heber Brown, the number 3, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter as well. I'd love to connect. I also want to put it out there because the need has grown to such a place, Doc, where we have to hire folks to join our team. The phone is ringing off the hook. Churches are calling everywhere. We're excited to be doing work in places and connecting with family. I see my brother, Pastor Earl Fisher from Memphis, one of the most dynamic prophets and pastors there. We'd love to do work. We're doing work with them in Memphis and connecting and supporting their folk, also connecting with other places like Atlanta and Florida and so much more. So we are now hiring. In fact, we just put it online. Y'all, I need a number 2. I'm going to just put it straight like that. I'd love to be everywhere and be in all these places. I can't do it. We're hiring for a deputy director, and then right behind that, a national organizer to help support the growth of this work for such a time as this. The need is great, but man, oh man, Doc, I am blessed with the chance to see Black farmers with thousands of acres of land, churches with hundreds and sometimes thousands acres of land. I would not have jumped off the ledge and started flapping, taking this big leap of faith, if I did not see and God did not show me proof that we could do this. God showed me that we can do it. We can feed ourselves. The Mormons feed themselves. Muslim communities feed themselves. Orthodox Jewish communities, they feed themselves and have systems to support that. I jumped off a cliff, stepped down from full-time pastoring to do this full-time because God showed me that this was possible in our lifetime.
That's right.
Create the systems to feed ourselves and be more powerful in our politics and our plate.
Yeah. And for every pastor, every church member that will watch this broadcast, and like I said, this is going to be up on YouTube for a long time. So if you watch this the middle of next year, you can join this bandwagon. This is important. It's necessary. It's just necessary. And I know churches are doing so many things. I really do know that in this season, the church has been inundated and overloaded, and pastors are working 60 hours a week. It's rough. This is a rough season. And what Dr. Brown is talking about is a way to actually make your work easier. We're not trying to add to your work. We're actually trying to reduce some of your work. I mean, think about how significant it would be for a group of teens and young adults at your church to go call resources in the city and begin a garden. You know, you all got land. You all know you've got land that's nothing is on.
That's right.
Nothing. It's not a parking lot. It's just land. And so many of our churches have the land, and they really do want to do something with it. This is your opportunity. It's okay if you don't know anything about it.
That's right.
It's okay if you don't know anything about gardening, growing food, the amount of what. It's okay if you don't know. There are people who will help you, who will teach you and how to get it going. You just need to say, I want to do this. I want to do this. And you can start out small.
That's
Like
right.
I said, when I met Pastor Brown, he had this small garden
Yep.
and he was so excited. And he said, Doc, look at the greens. They were growing green. He said, and they were huge. They were huge. I don't remember. I think they were collard greens.
That's right.
They were huge. And he was excited about what was being done on this small piece of land. And I'm telling you that if your church, I saw a church, and I think that they were on the East Coast, they had a garden on the roof,
Mm-hmm.
on the roof of the church.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is doable. It is doable. And we use Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, etc., to talk about everything else.
That's right.
We've got to talk this up.
That's right.
They're surveilling us anyway. Let's get something to talk about. Oh, another garden just started. That's right. Another one just started. What's that church? And before they can get the name of that church, another one just started. And we're not looking. We know they're going to surveil. We're not looking for them to help us.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I mean, the black farmers have been suing the federal government. How long, Dr. Brown?
That's right. Many years.
I mean, at least 50.
At least.
Okay.
At least.
At least 50 for the amount of discrimination. So when I saw that thing about farmers are going to get a bailout, I said, no, conglomerates are going to get a bailout.
That's right. That's right.
It's not even going to be poor white farms.
That's right.
Conglomerates, okay, who bought up farms everywhere because of government entities that have run them in the ground.
That's
and
right.
We don't have to do a whole discussion on tariffs, but that's a whole nother discussion. That is just killing farms. It's killing farms. But the bailouts are not for black farmers, never have been. And if they get a few dimes, a few pennies, it's because they fought hard and loud to do that. Dr. Brown, I know that, you are looking at this from so many different directions. And I really want you all to know they're hiring people.
Yes.
They really do need to hire some people. So, and the job market is not looking good for a whole lot of people for a whole lot of reasons. This is not the job market from 4 years ago. Be real clear about that. But there's so many young people who are interested in the earth. They're interested in what is happening to the environment. And so if you know some young people like that, Dr. Brown and his group really would like to have them come on board or at least do an interview. I know you're working on your book, Nothing More Sacred.
Yes.
And I mean, I know how hard it is to find time to write when you're doing 20 things, etc. But, and I'm hoping that the book will be finished and out next year. But just tell us about a little bit about what the book is about anyway. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this book project because it helps to communicate that there is a lineage and family tree of Black faith leaders who have always seen agriculture and food production as a part of prophetic ministry in the Black community. So people sometimes are tempted to see and hear me and say, oh, my Lord, Heber Brown came down from the cosmos with this never heard of before ministry. And I'm like, y'all, cut it out. Stop. I'm just one of many in a long line.
Long line.
So it really is. And I appreciate having this conversation with you, Doc, because it's like this. It's another very pronounced avenue of congregational leadership in the Black church that I don't think has gotten as much spotlight as the oratory and as, other parts of the Black church. But we have had Black pastors who are also Black farmers and who combine that. And so in my book, I write about people like Reverend Vernon Johns. I write about people like Bishop Ida B. Robinson and the
Yes.
Mount Sinai Holy Church, this dynamic Black woman
Yeah.
who bought 140 plus acres of land in New Jersey and was growing food and had housing and dormitories and cafeterias and swimming pools. These examples and models of ministry I had not heard of when I was coming up in ministry, but they serve as kind of highway markers for me on my path. And from Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer to Mother Divine, Father Divine, and the Peace Mission movement.
Yeah.
We've had Black congregations growing food at scale from the Great Depression all the way up to present time. And I just want to do my part to place a greater spotlight on these folks in the historic sense, but also currently. The church is like the shrine of the Black Madonna and Reverend Albert Clegg Jr. They have thousands of acres in South Carolina today. And so, you know, when I think about what this book will do, it will help to amplify these stories from history and hopefully feed the prophetic imagination of church leaders in our community to say, here are other ways or enhancements or pivots that our congregation can make. It's been done before.
It has been done before.
That's what I'm really excited about with this book. I don't want it to be a book that just sits on the shelf. I want it to be like a blueprint, a manual, a workbook, so that your trustees, your deacons ministry, your Christian education department, and pastors can see it and say, oh, okay, this is how we can, again, make this work incarnational in the life of our church and in the mechanics of our ministry.
Yeah, well, I am I'm excited for you and hope you get more time.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got to hire some people.
Yes.
Just get more time to get that book finished, because it's so important. It's so important. Our history is not only being removed from libraries. We just keep forgetting in the church that you were not the first one to do it.
Right.
It's amazing. I love it when we post stuff online and preachers post, and it's like, so and so really did that 30 years ago, 50 years ago, etc. But it's amazing how quickly we think we're the first one.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we're the first one. No, you are not. You are not.
Not at all.
And we definitely have in this country a great legacy of feeding ourselves and of churches being really involved in the work. We've got the legacy, and we need to improve upon the legacy and not just make it about this administration.
That's
even
right.
if this administration was a catalyst for some of you.
That's right.
We need this long after.
That's right.
Long after this administration, because we're going to need just better ways to sustain ourselves, because the craziness that is going on now, we never thought it could happen in our lifetime.
That's right. That's right.
And the truth of the matter is, we can never totally depend on Washington.
No.
Because much of what goes on in Washington does not have us in mind. It just doesn't. It never has.
Never has.
It never has. So, once we can accept that reality, then we can start to think about being more self-sufficient and our resiliency. We've done it before. We have done it before. We can do it again. That is my time, Dr. Heber Brown III. I'm telling you. I'm excited about the work that you've done for more than a decade and what you are going to do, because you have the power of imagination. You have the power. You can dream the dream.
Oh, man.
And believe it or not, you all, when I first met him and I went to his church, I was very ready for him to be gone. And he was at a wonderful church.
That's right.
He was at a wonderful, wonderful people. but it was like, oh my God, this man with this mind, okay, this is a world thought leader. And he was looking at me like, yeah, okay.
I really was.
Mhm. But it was so clear
Wow.
that he was a world thought leader. And you have blessed the world.
Thank
You
you.
have blessed the world with your work, and we're excited.
Wow.
We're just excited about all of the things that you're going to do. Okay. Because you're a man with great imagination, and most importantly, you love the people.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Doc.
You love the people.
Yes.
That's why you've been doing so much of what you've done. You love the people. This is not about money for you.
No, ma'am.
No, you love the people, and that's one more reason for me to love you.
Oh,
God bless you. And you all, the information was put in the chat. You can reach out to him. If he has 5 minutes next year, we're going to bring him back to talk about that book coming out and some other work that he is doing. If you are watching this broadcast on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for those who hit my Cash App as an independent scholar. Join me next on December 29th. We're going to close out the year with a potpourri Monday, talk about a whole lot of things from preaching calendars to what churches are open to, how you can expand your ministry, vocabulary, just a whole lot of stuff closing out the year. And last but not least, as I always say, share the video. Share this video. It won't cost you anything. And you all know that this will help some people. This is going to help some people. So share the video. God bless you. I hope that everyone has a good week. Take care, Dr. Brown.
Thank you, Doc, so much for the opportunity.
All right. Bless you.
Bless you.